are here in Brookings, Oregon on the radio station KCIW in the Curry Coast community. Listeners, how are you out there? I can hear you if you give me a call at 541-661-4098. This is the Quality Living with Peaceful Support Program. I am Amanda Whittemore. I am your radio voice of the Quality Living Show. And we have a really super special action that we're doing. It is 7 minutes of the 7 chakras for 7 weeks. This week we're on week number 2. We have Corie Cline making this presentation with us here in the radio station.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, good to have you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I want to remind you that when we start to talk about those chakras, you might awaken some movement, some thoughts, maybe some trapped emotions. But let's just get right to it. Mm-hmm. We are studying today the second chakra, Swadhisthana, or the Sacral Chakra. And to get started, the color is orange. So think about something orange. Now I want you to do some hot air balloon breath with me. So I want you to sit up nice and straight, and I want you to drop your stomach. So just feel nice and full. Really get a rounded stomach. You're going to breathe in. Pull that stomach to your belly button tight. Now release that breath. Drop that stomach. It's all full, big, full balloon. Breathe it in and release it. You've got one more. Breathe it in and drop it. All right, pull those abs nice and back wherever it is for you. You just did that hot air balloon breath to awaken that sacral chakra. Now, what can you do with some asanas or poses? I want you to think about doing the goddess pose. Now, if you haven't done the goddess pose, think about opening up those legs. So maybe you're now standing, or you can even do this sitting. Your legs are nice and wide.
I'm doing it. I'm pushing my chair back.
Okay, so let's do it together, yeah?
Okay.
Okay, so there you go.
Okay, all right.
You're nice and wide, and I'm going to sit in the chair.
Okay.
You turn those toes open.
Oh, they're open. They're pointing out.
Pointing out. Your arms are up into the cactus arms or goddess pose. Fingers nice and wide.
Yes.
Breathe in, tighten in, and release that breath. You're welcome to bring those hands into prayer hands. And it's a nice goddess pose that is good for everyone. Release that, be able to sit in your chair.
That's warming.
That is warming, and it is so good for men to do that goddess pose. Just let it all hang.
Yeah, the god and goddess.
That's right. Now, if you did not want to have or can't stand, you can also be sitting on the ground into a staff pose. Now, a staff pose is where you take your legs and put them nice and straight. Flex those feet. I want you to inhale with those arms up past your head. Inhale up. And then take it all the way over and try to touch those toes. Now, if those toes are a little bit far right now, you can grab onto those nice shins.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or even those knees, your thighs. That's to engage your hips, your pelvis, and your stomach. So those are a little bit of examples of good asanas or poses for your sacral chakra. Now let's get into the energy anatomy of that second chakra. So what organs does that include? Well, everybody likes those sexual organs. The large intestine, the lower vertebrae, your pelvis, the appendix, bladder, and hip area. So you're like, my hips are tight. So you just did that nice exercise to help with those hips, tight hips. Now, if you were having a bladder problem, maybe it's what you need to eat. We'll get into that in just a moment. With the mental or emotional issues, you might feel some blame or guilt. Again, money and sex could be an issue. Power and control, creativity, ethics, and honor in your relationships. Something to think about. Now, physical, maybe you are having that chronic lower back pain, sciatic, OB/GYN problems, pelvic low back pain, sexual potency, or urinary problems. Now, as that is manifesting in your body, you need to maybe take a think about, what can I eat to fix this issue that I'm having down below? Let's think.
The sacral.
Yeah,
chakra.
the sacral chakra down below, and the color is orange. So you're lacking maybe some oranges,
Ooh,
some vitamin C,
carrots.
yams,
Yeah.
sweet potatoes, squash soup. Doesn't that sound good? Did you not just feel that in your sacral? Grapefruits, papaya, cantaloupe, peach, pumpkin. And how about a little habanero?
Eso.
So think about that's fun and good for your body and helps feed that area in your body. Okay, so what did I do today to help with my sacral? I was outside and grounding. We have some really big Japanese maple trees, and it was so good to like kind of declutter it and and kind of just feel its spirit. And I'm taking my little hand. I like to call Cindy Lappers.
Yeah. Of course. Yes.
And I call her Cindy's.
Okay.
And, and trimming that tree up and feeling the energy. And it was like, that tree was like, oh, thank you for giving me some life and love. Grounding and again. And then I prepped out some sourdough bread.
Oh, dang.
That's good for the guts. And it's just,
intestines.
and good to put my hands in it. And
Yes.
all that goodness. So I just, to do things that help any trapped emotions in your body.
Right.
Help with that.
Move through them.
Yes. And that's what I want you to not be afraid of chakras.
Right.
It's not just, and I'm not this guru. I'm using it to figure out my body, my good energy in my body as everything is connected.
Yes.
So I just wanted also to say that Amanda and I are available to teach you some good yoga nuggets, like let's get together in a yoga gathering. Or
Like June 28th for the International Yoga Gathering at the Azalea Park, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Oh my gosh, yes. Or maybe you have an awesome girls' night you need to have recharged, or bridal party, baby shower, youth group. We would love to come to you and share our knowledge.
Let's do it. Contact at KCIW.org. Perfect. Corie, thank you so kindly for these 7-ish minutes of the 7 weeks of the 7 chakras. We may add 8 chakras. We don't know. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. See you next time.
All right. Okay. Listeners, thank you so much. We're so glad to bring in our next guest here at the KCIW radio station. Remember, you're all welcome. Everyone is welcome. Be our guest. Not just to listen and dance around at the ocean with the radio turned up, but come on into the radio station anytime. Okay. And you can do that by calling 541-661-4098 or email us contact@kciw.org. However, right now in the studio, we have Judy Howard. Hi, Judy.
Well, hello, Amanda. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited. My first interview.
Oh, good. First interview ever?
Well, no.
Of course not. You're super famous. That's
radio.
impossible.
First on radio.
Okay, on radio. Yeah.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
Wonderful. How does it feel?
Pretty good so far. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not
I've done a lot of interviews, but
Yeah.
this is different.
The microphone.
Yeah, all of this technique stuff.
Technology stuff. We got sound engineers. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ozzy. Yeah. Okay, well, we brought Judy on here because she's going to get a lot more familiar with the radio station activity here. Real quick, she is signed up as a volunteer because KCIW is all volunteer-based, all donations. And Judy signed up to have her own brand new show.
Yes, I'm. It's called Writing Changes Lives, and I'm excited about being here and interview. Half of my show will be about writing and the different aspects of writing that change your life. I've experienced that many times when I have people in my writing critique group and they start writing their stories. They learn things about themselves that they never knew.
1,000%.
It's very exciting work that I do, and I'm just thrilled to share it on the radio and in my podcast that's coming up soon.
Perfect. Yes, yes. And where are you teaching right now so that people can participate?
Yes, right now I'm teaching an online class at the college here in Brookings, the local college, and I also run a critique group that's free, and right now it's taking place at the Seabird RV Park on Fridays from 1 to 4. And if you've thought about writing a book, you can drop in with a piece of your work, and we all share and read each other's work and critique it.
That is so kind. 1 to 4 p.m. on Saturdays at the Seabird RV Park.
Yes.
And that's here in Brookings?
Here in Brookings, yes.
Okay. Beautiful. And how many years have you been an author, a published author?
Well, I started in 2010. I published my first book.
Woo!
So I was not everyone who have always thought about writing a book. In fact, I was a dog groomer since I was 11 years old.
Really?
And I groomed dogs. And
Okay.
so when I was trying to semi-retire from my business, I decided to take a creative writing class just for fun. Again, I was not thinking about writing a book. It never crossed my mind. And in this writing group, they gave you a prompt, and the prompt was write about the color red for 10 minutes. And I thought to myself, writing about the color red for 10 minutes? What? I just couldn't imagine writing a whole 10 minutes about the color red.
Right.
So I put pen to paper because I wanted to be a good student in my little class.
Yeah.
And I could not believe what came out of my head. There was all of these words, and I was wondering where that all came from. And I just, it freaked me out a little. And I just decided, I wanted more. I wanted to see what was in my head. And so that was my first book. I sat down and decided if I'm going to this class, I'm going to might as well write a book. And so I wrote Coast to Coast with a Cat and a Ghost, which was a memoir. And it was my first book. I now have 8 books out. And so I got a little addicted to writing, and I can't seem to stop. And now not only do I teach, I write books. I always have a book that I'm working on, but I also teach an online class at the college, and I run a critique group. And now I'm starting this podcast. So
Perfect.
So
Yeah, phenomenal, unbelievable. That's a lot of books. It's a lot of creativity flowing. You just turned on the juices and it just kept on producing.
yes, it did. Yes. I'm passionate about writing, and maybe because of what happened to me, I didn't realize what all I really had to say. And when I started writing, there's a term, my new quote is, writing is the conscious mind's way of tricking the subconscious to reveal its secrets. And my life has changed since I started writing. I learned things about myself that I never knew. I think we all have secrets, and we know we have secrets, or we don't even know we have secrets. But when something happens to the brain when you put the pen to paper, it's not like journaling. It's totally different. And when you put pen to paper, all these memories and feelings come out. So, and that's why a lot of people really stop writing. You talk about writer's block. It can be scary, but it's also very rewarding. And I just really believe that everyone should write their story. I believe we're losing our history. And sharing stories with one another is a way to connect with other people. And I don't know. I'm passionate about it all.
Well, we love it, and you're about to have hopefully, because you're going to have airing your show every week here on KCIW. So you got a lot to give. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, let's hope I do. Yeah. So part of the podcast will be an interview with other authors who have written books, and I'm trying to. My first guest will be a gal who took my writing critique group and published her first book. And she'll share about how her life has totally changed, and her boyfriend's life has changed.
Oh.
I mean, it just blows me away when you get into this process, and because I guess when it started happening the first time is when you write a book. I don't care if it's a memoir or if it's just all fiction; it's all made up.
Right.
Your characters have personalities, and whatever they do in a story, they have to have a reason for why they do it. And I can remember I was writing my autobiography, and I thought, well, now I'm going to have to know why my character, which would be me, is doing what she's doing when she was 16 years old.
Oh, no.
And so to examine that, but whether it's fiction, memoir or fiction. Your characters have to have a reason that they do things, or else it won't make sense. And so writing for me was just, it's like a psychoanalyst, analyzing.
Yeah.
And so, like say, you really learn a lot about yourself, and you have learned that there's different perspectives, and it just goes on and on. So
that is phenomenal. We have a part that we do when we do our yoga sessions, because yoga is to connect, to join. It's not necessarily get into a asana, which is a position that you see in the gym classes. So we do hand to paper, whether it's ink or any type of material that will physically write with our hands onto whatever other type of material. Because like you said, there's that connection, that there's something, this energetic chord that comes through, almost like playing an instrument that you would never even believe is in you. Yeah, thank you for bringing that to the light and the importance of writing.
Yeah, yes, it's just the fact that when we share our stories with someone else, we're giving them a piece of. I'm giving them a piece of myself, and I don't care in writing books. I don't care. I say if it's nonfiction or fiction. If you think it's all going to be some little fantasy world that you're going to write about, every character in the book is a character. In my books, every one is me, just different aspects,
different formation or different.
And they say it's not only just you writing your story, but it's either something that you wish you had done differently. You can write it that way, or you could. You could write it as rewriting. There's a term called rewriting your life. And that's what happens is because you start looking back and realizing that because every character in a story believes a lie. The hero and the character in the book believes a lie, and he's trying to reach this goal. But until he realizes that the lie he believes is a lie, he can't reach his goal. And it's like that in true life. Everything is just so synchronized with real life because that's what story is. Every story is about life and how it all plays out the same. The structure of a story is, everything's wonderful and something happens and then you're forced to leave your comfortable world and face the goal if you're going to, and you have to risk something to achieve your goal.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so it's very complicated. I get a kick out of my students, the ones on this online class, and they're going, because they're just thinking they're going to write their pretty little story. And then they say, oh, my God, it's hard. And I always say in my seminars, I used to live in my motorhome. for 7 years. I could write my books anywhere, so I just started traveling in my motorhome, and I would do seminars around the country. And I said, if I had known how hard writing was, I never would have started.
Oh, God.
But my sister always accused me of just doing it, so.
Well, so here on the Quality Living with Peaceful Support show, we're talking with Judy Howard, and she's an author that is about to have her own show here on KCIW for all the listeners that are just tuning in. And we have a moment to ask you a question that we do on the Quality Living show. We ask, because you're bringing up life and living and where you were from. And so how does the word, we have two questions. How does the word living feel to you? What makes you feel alive?
I'll tell you, what makes me feel alive is hearing some. I go to a 12-step program, and on Sunday evenings, I go to a speaker meeting, and people share their stories. What they used to be like and what happened, and I come alive when I hear other people share their stories. And how they overcome all the obstacles in their lives. And that just thrills me. And when I can do that, share my story, and basically it's letting other people know they've been heard. Absolutely. And that they matter. And to me, that's what sharing stories is about. That's what comes out of it. So, living is just connecting with other people.
Beautiful. And we have one more, kind of amplifies all that. How about the word quality?
Well, again, quality to me is having people in my life, being able to share with them and not have any walls up. As I grew up, I had a lot of walls. I think a lot of people do, especially these times. It seems like everybody's afraid of something, and there's just so many. There's so much fear. It seems like lately, and to be able to go past that and see past that and see who the real person is, and that they're just afraid, and they're a beautiful soul. So I don't know if I answered the question, but that's.
Absolutely. We've had 70 plus guests and we've never had a repeated answer yet. So that was lovely. Absolutely. Yeah. Your answer is just perfect, as are you. And we're glad to have you in the station here. And so real quickly, could you give a little history of how you got to Brookings?
Oh, sure. Well, as I mentioned before, I had started when I started writing, and I sold my dog grooming business because I could write my books anywhere. And I started. I went full time in my motorhome for almost 7 years, and I traveled all over the country doing writing seminars and just loved my life. And but at some point, I wanted to settle down, and I came here to Brookings. I had a good friend that had moved here first, and I'd never wanted to really live on the coast, but I wanted to get out of California.
Okay.
And so she said, "Come here," and so here I am, and I just everything about this town just suits me. It's magical here. I really do believe it's magical here. And I've changed so much just I've been here now going on 4 years.
Oh, perfect.
And, and of course, coming from Southern California, this place is a contrast and a whole different lifestyle. So I do believe it was a God thing that I landed here because it's beyond anything I imagined, but it's everything that I would have imagined if I could, So yeah, I just absolutely love it here, and don't plan on leaving soon. Sold my motorhome, and I'll still travel, but not in the motorhome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice, lovely. Well, we're all glad to have you here in the area, and you're a big support, and you provide a lot to the community, and being able to be part of KCIW is a pretty big deal. We get to promote your show, do the podcast. And anyone listening, we are on Quality Living with Peaceful Support. We are talking with Judy Howard. She is an author and will have her own show here on the radio station. Plus, she is teaching at the SWAC online course.
Southern Oregon.
Southern Oregon, yeah.
Community College.
Yeah. And how can our listeners, if they wanted to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to contact you?
Well, my website is judyhowardpublishing.com. My email is jhoward1935@gmail.com. And I'm on Facebook. I have a YouTube channel, so
Ooh.
I've got all of that stuff going. So my books are carried in right now at the Mail Center. And I also believe they're in Lila's. And, of course, they're all on Amazon, either available as Kindle books, paperback, and 2 of them are also audiobooks.
Nice. Very good. And they just search Judy Howard? Or
Judy Howard, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And could you tell us real quick the names of the books?
Okay. First one is Coast to Coast with a Cat and a Ghost. The second one is Going Home with a Cat and a Ghost. Next one is Masada's Marine and Masada's Mission. Activate Lion Mode, Activate Love Mode,
Ooh.
and Truck Stop. And Grieving Gift is another one. They're all family friendly, except Truck Stop is not. So if you're of a sensitive nature, do not read that one.
Good to know, good to hear, and we're glad to have you here in the KCIW station. Looking forward to hear a lot more of your shows here. And listeners, any questions, comments, please email contact@KCIW. And we thank you so much for your time today, Judy.
Oh, thank you very much, Amanda. It's been a kick. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, your first radio show. Woo!
I know.
And onward.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Brookings.